The grace you've been withholding from yourself, reclaiming life after compounded trauma. Welcome to Soft Girl Era, the sacred pause where strong black women unlearn survival, rediscover softness, and reclaim the joy, rest, and freedom they deserve without guilt, without apology, and without explanation. I'm LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French, and I'm your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft, and loving every second of it. Today, I want to share something with you that came from a conversation I had recently with someone who is changing the world one testimony at a time. Her name is Erica Cokley, and when I sat down with her, I realized I wasn't just listening to a story. I was witnessing a revolution, a quiet, powerful reclamation of life after compounded trauma. Erica is a woman who has survived childhood abuse, navigated the devastating loss of her firstborn son, built a business during the 2008 recession, and still found the courage to say, "My pain does not get the final word." She is living proof that healing is possible, that grace can become a pathway into a new chapter, and that even when grief and past trauma collide, you can still choose forward movement. She is making the world a better place by showing women that survival is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of reclaiming your authentic self. So let me ask you something. How many of you have been taught that strength means silence, that healing means forgetting, that moving forward means pretending the past didn't happen? Yeah, me too. And that's exactly the lie we're dismantling today. Because here's the truth: your pain does not get the final word. Even when grief and past trauma collide, even when it feels like the weight of everything you've survived is too heavy to carry, you can still choose healing, identity, and forward movement. You can still choose you. Erica Cokley taught me that. And today I'm passing that lesson on to you. Let's talk about survival for a second. Not the kind of survival we celebrate on social media with motivational quotes and hustle culture. I'm talking about the kind of survival that happens in the dark when no one is watching, when you're just trying to make it through the next hour without falling apart. The kind of survival that comes after repeated hardship, after many, many experiences, most of them traumas, as Erica described them. The kind of survival that doesn't come with a trophy. It just a quiet, stubborn refusal to let the pain win. Erica's journey from trauma to triumph wasn't about erasing what happened to her. It was about aligning her life with her values, choosing authenticity, and helping others believe they can survive their experiences too. She didn't just survive, she turned survival into testimony. She turned testimony into guidance, and she turned guidance into a lifeline for women who are still in the thick of it, still wondering if they'll make it through. And here's what I need you to hear: survival is not passive, survival is an active choice. It's waking up every day and deciding that your story is still being written. It's choosing to honor where you are today while still stepping into who you are becoming. It's giving yourself permission to heal without rushing the process. Because healing is not linear, it can take years. It can include grief that never disappears, but it still leaves room for growth, softness, and self compassion. Now, let me tell you something that Erica did that absolutely blew my mind. In the middle of the 2008 recession, when the entire economy was collapsing, when people were losing their homes, their jobs, their hope, Erica started a childcare business. Let that sink in for a second. The recession created uncertainty, financial pressure, and a difficult environment for launching anything, let alone a business. But Erica kept moving forward. She surrounded herself with people who believed in her vision. She trusted resilience over fear. And she built something real, something lasting, something that became a tangible example of turning instability into opportunity through persistence and support. Now, I don't know about you, but when I heard that, I thought, okay, this woman is not playing. This woman understands that support systems and belief can help you build even when conditions feel impossible. And that's the lesson we need to carry with us. You don't have to wait for perfect conditions to start reclaiming your life. You don't have to wait until the grief subsides or the trauma heals completely. You can start right now, right where you are, with the people who believe in you and the faith that keeps you grounded. And speaking of the people who believe in you, let's talk about community. Because one of the most powerful things Erica shared with me was the importance of women supporting women in real, tangible ways. Not so surface level encouragement, not performative sisterhood, real support. The kind that shows up when you're falling apart, the kind that holds space for your pain without trying to fix it, the kind that says, I see you, I believe you, and I'm not going anywhere. Erica pointed to the isolation that can come from trauma and the need for genuine support rather than hollow words. Her solution was to find and build a real support group where women help one another heal, survive, and thrive. And the outcome? A stronger sense of belonging and the possibility of the most amazing things happening when women stand together. This message is especially relevant for Black women and other women carrying layered burdens because it frames community as a healing resource, not a luxury. It transforms personal pain into an invitation for sisterhood, healing, and mutual uplift. And that's what Soft Girl Era is all about. We're not just talking about rest and boundaries and softness in theory, we're talking about creating the conditions for those things to actually happen. And that starts with community. Now, I want to pause here for a second and ask you a question. How are you learning to be soft in a world that taught you survival? Because that's the central question we're wrestling with on this podcast. That's the question Erica answered with her life. She didn't just survive, she learned to be soft again. She learned to give herself grace. She learned to honor her grief while still making space for joy, peace, and self prioritization. And grace, let me tell you, grace is a practice. It's not something you do once and check off your list. It's something you choose every single day. It's honoring where you are today while still stepping into who you are becoming. It's replacing judgment with care. It's saying, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm not where I used to be either. And that's worth celebrating. Erica's story is a testament to that. She didn't rush her healing. She didn't pretend the pain wasn't there. She named it. She honored it. And then she took one honest step toward reclaiming her life, and then another, and then another, until she found herself on the other side, not because the pain disappeared, but because she refused to let it have the final word. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to identify one place where you have been withholding grace from yourself. Just one. Maybe it's the way you talk to yourself when you make a mistake. Maybe it's the guilt you carry for not being further along in your healing. Maybe it's the belief that you should be over it by now. Whatever it is, I want you to name it. And then I want you to replace that judgment with one act of care this week. Just one. Take a nap without apologizing for it. Say no to something that drains you. Sit in silence and let yourself feel whatever comes up. Give yourself permission to heal without rushing the process. Because here's the thing, you are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too much or not enough. You are exactly where you need to be. And your story is still being written. Erica Cokley's life is proof of that. She survived childhood abuse. She lost her firstborn son. She built a business in the middle of a recession. She found community when isolation tried to swallow her whole. And she turned all of that pain, all of that grief, all of that survival into something sacred and supportive for others. She didn't do it by pretending it didn't hurt. She did it by choosing to let grace lead the way. And that's what I want for you. I want you to feel seen, comforted, and empowered. I want you to know that healing is still possible. I want you to know that you are not alone. I want you to know that your pain does not get the final word. Because the truth is, again, we've been taught to wear our strength like armor. We've been taught to carry everyone else's burdens while ignoring our own. We've been taught that softness is weakness and that rest is laziness and that saying no is selfish. But that's a lie. And it's time to release the cape. Releasing the cape doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you stop showing up. It means you stop sacrificing yourself in the process. It means you redefine strength as the courage to be vulnerable, to ask for help, to admit when you're tired. It means you embrace softness as a radical act of self love. And I know that's easier said than done. I know that when you've spent your whole life in survival mode, it's hard to imagine what it feels like to just be. But that's why we're here. That's why Erica shared her story. That's why this podcast exists, to give you permission, to give you a roadmap, to give you hope. So let me leave you with this. Healing is not linear, it can take years. It can include grief that never disappears, but it still leaves room for growth, softness, and self compassion. Your pain does not get the final word. Even when grief and past trauma collide, you can still choose healing, identity, and forward movement. And grace is a practice. It's honoring where you are today while still stepping into who you are becoming. Erica Cokley is living proof of that. And so are you. So take a breath, give yourself some grace. And remember, your story is still being written. And it's going to be beautiful.